James Corden, asshole. See you next Tuesday. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. I've maintained it for a long time about what a see you next Tuesday James Corden, asshole, is. And of course, the recent revelation about his behaviour at Balthazar has been plastered across media and social media the last day or so. This has then resulted in a bit of a feeding frenzy, as those who've always recognised that he's a complete turd have confirmed that, yes, he is a complete turd, and I've always maintained that. Others expressed surprise. I always thought the roly-poly funny man was a decent sort. Now I realise that he's a complete canut. And, of course, mainstream media, always ready to get in on the act, like a shark scenting blood, has tackled Corden, arsehole. The Daily Mail revisits some of his past behaviours. But before I dive into that, for an succulent tearing apart of James Corden, arsehole, it behooves me to remind you that if you really want to split your sides in laughter and relish in the complete flaming of this overpaid, unfunny arsewanker, you really must access the HG Roast series. There are 4, yes, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 tantalising, satisfying, juicy roasts of James Corden, arsehole, by your velvet-toned glorious narrator. But what does the Daily Mail write? An article by Jenna Smith tells us, revealed, James Corden, arsehole, failed to name a single cameraman on his Late Late Show in 2017. A scathing audience reviews say he barely interacts with fans unless cameras are rolling and moves overweight people to the back. Question then immediately presents itself, how does he present the show from the back? But let's find out more. Video has resurfaced of James Corden, arsehole, failing to name a single cameraman from his own show in 2017 after he was labelled abusive of staff at a Manhattan restaurant, Balthazar. Corden, arsehole, had invited fellow comedian Jimmy Kimmel onto the show in 2017 for a segment called Spill Your Guts. It consisted of Kimmel asking Corden, arsehole, questions, and Corden, arsehole, eating or drinking unappetizing dishes if he failed to answer. Name 2 of the cameramen in this room, Kimmel asked in one portion. That is a great question, giggled Corden, arsehole, before replying that it was a different crew tonight, actually, and reaching for a Smith fish smoothie. His inability to name any of the cameraman demonstrates the fact that he has no interest in anybody other than his reflection in the mirror. He has no interest in the people that work around him. They are just the little people there to serve him, the great and almighty amazing James Corden, arsehole. He is arrogant. He has a huge sense of entitlement. That he has no accountability for his behaviour towards these people. He's deluded as he thinks he's far superior to them, but is perhaps one of the world's best examples, alongside Harry's wife, of making such a little go a very long way. The article continues. The video resurfaced on social media on Tuesday after Corden, arsehole, was shamed publicly for berating staff at Balthazar. Restaurant owner Keith McNally took to Instagram to announce he'd banned the comedian, the most abusive customer in 25 years, as punishment for how he spoke to staff. TripAdvisor reviews from audience members of the show paint a picture of an egotistical host who fails to interact with the crowd unless the cameras are rolling. Accordingly, he doesn't care anything for the people that are there to watch the show because it's all about him. And he only springs into life putting on the persona of being this amiable, funny man when he's being watched, i.e. when the cameras are upon him. Some said his show organisers deliberately sat unattractive people in the back of the studio, with one person claiming to have overheard Corden, arsehole, say he didn't want to look at an overweight man who'd shown up for a taping. Was he looking in the mirror at that juncture, one wonders? No, because if he had, he'd have been licking it, the turd. That, of course, smearing that individual by talking about him to another individual, is a method of asserting control. The fact is that Corden, unfunny, overweight, not particularly good-looking, no real talent, I suppose he can sort of sing, thinks that he is amazing, thinks that he's gorgeous, that everybody adores him, and that he should only be surrounded by the beautiful people. And therefore, if a fellow fatty turns up, well, he doesn't want to look at them. And not only does that show hypocrisy, it also shows an absence of emotional empathy for that individual. Returning to the article, 1 August 2021 review reads as follows. I managed to get in and was seated in the second row with my partner. Anyone who was overweight, of Corden's arsehole stature, or larger, let's say, was ushered into seats situated at the back. At one point, before things kicked off, I actually overheard James Corden, arsehole, say to one of his staff, I don't want to have to look at him, haughtiness, dismissiveness, implying that they ought to move him to another seat. Not once did he communicate with the crowd, volunteers, without the cameras rolling, as fake and entitled as they come. Another, written by a fan in March 2019, the fan having travelled with their family from Kansas, said, if you're going to pick a show, the Kimmel Experience is way better than Corden, arsehole. This includes all the staff. Corden, arsehole people just stood in line and talked amongst themselves while the Kimmel staff were friendly and chatted with everyone standing in line. I know this is Hollywood LA, but this show and the vibe is over the top, superficial and stupid. Get over yourself. And the various reviews are posted there from TripAdvisor. Another said, James acted as though we were not even there, which was very disheartening. Absence of emotional empathy, haughtiness, arrogance. One fan who attended a taping of the show in September 29 said, I always felt that James Corden, arsehole, was a people person, yet at the show felt different. Hardly any audience interaction, haughtiness. James, arsehole, appeared on stage and once done he left. Did not greet or thank the fans, which I was shocked at. And another said, James, arsehole, doesn't really interact with the audience. In fact, he didn't even wave, acknowledge or thank us when leaving the studio, which I thought was a bit unnecessary. He's clearly there to get his job done and get out. No, he just isn't interested in all of you because you don't matter. You're not paying him. He's better than you. You are the little people. It then continues referring to the issue of the banning from Balthazar. But let us go below the line now and find out what the readers of the Daily Mail have to say. Undoubtedly, there's going to be an outpouring of support for James Corden, arsehole. I was there. Writes, most shocking part of that story is that he has fans. Airing my views, the biggest shame is he never went on a date with Jeffrey Dahmer. GGRL99. My husband was picked out as the barman, and I was sat at the bar as audience members a few feet from him, and he was unbelievably rude. Totally changed our opinion of him, and we couldn't watch anything he's in anymore. Surprise 2022. Send the roly-poly hobbit home. Most of America, with all our comedic talent here, is still scratching their head why a B-list actor from another country was given his position. Same with Trevor Noah. My Cat Murphy responds, no thanks, you can keep him. Diane adds, no, we don't want him back. Oh Person sounds a lot like Ellen. And of course, if you'd like to understand more about Ellen DeGeneres, then you can also enjoy my roast of her. Ashley responds, exactly. Sweet as honey when on camera, but utterly vile when the camera is no longer rolling. Maybe he can get cancelled and join Ellen on the unemployment train. Maybe that will humble him a bit. No, it won't. Scott L. Fame and money sometimes change people for the worse. No, it doesn't. All it does is exacerbate what's already there. Namely, he's a narcissist and those behaviours come to the surface. W5882300. Now we know the real reason he retired. He knew this was coming after the Ellen debacle. Drunk Uncle responds, they weren't offering him enough money. Then they did, and he stayed. No one was retiring. Reganai, moved overweight people to the back. LOL, honey, that restaurant was doing you a favour by banning you. Suze, a fat person not wanting to look at fat people sounds like a psychological issue. Natasha86, the owner of Balthazar played this perfectly. He exposed James, arsehole, knew people would be crawling out of the woodwork to share their negative experiences with him. Once the damage was done, Balthazar owner accepts Corden, arsehole's apology, and backs away slowly to watch the fallout. Clark Hent, he did his comedy routine once and never ever changed it. Same old stuff day after day, a one-trick pony. I don't care for his lefty attitude and choice of lefty-only guests. The UK deserves him. We don't. Socks the Gooner. Why do we deserve him? What did we do wrong? Rob, no thanks. Send him to Russia. Gigi Braden, I never watched him. Dougie Sadler adds, I never have. I never will. Edgar Allen, if he moves overweight people in the audience to the back, shouldn't he join them there? Nashgal007, cancel culture's coming at you quick, James Corden. As an American, we are just as fascinated with someone's rise to fame as we are with their downfall demise. Goodbye, I hope. Ricky Gervais is much funnier. FL Boy sounds like JC, arsehole, is getting cancelled by his own woke pals. John Barron, shocker, a male Ellen degenerate. Mickey, he is the fat guy who got famous because his character slept with a popular character in a great sitcom. He then continued to plug his loud, laddish act until he got to the States. He's never been funny or talented, but his agents have. Tally6155. Unfortunately, this is true. I went to watch A League of Their Own being filmed and was completely disappointed with James, arsehole. He barely interacted with the audience, and when he did, he was rude and insulting. He only really interacted with the other panellists when the camera was rolling. As soon as filming finished, he walked straight off and didn't even wave, even though the audience was shouting his name. The other panellists, however, were fantastic and spent time with us. I have friends who have served him in restaurants and on flights and all have the same negative opinion of him. Very rude and arrogant. Shh. He's friends with other bullies, so not surprised. Hi-oh. This is 100% true, and I can attest to it. Me and my husband went to a taping once. What the reviews say is true. We left disliking this man so much. He did not acknowledge anyone unless the cameras were rolling. He would only sit there looking at his phone and ignoring everyone. But once the cameras start, he transforms into this funny, likeable guy. I have never been so disappointed at taping. Awful person he is. Peace for All 2020. He's a friend of the Harrys. Just like them, he has a delusional opinion of himself. Well, damn. Thank you for this article, Daily Mail. Those TripAdvisor reviews tell the truth about this man. He has the lowest ranked reviews of any live tape show in LA. People who are major fans leave the show disappointed. Hasio, I think it's just a matter of time before he's cancelled. Common sensible. He is a thoroughly unpleasant man. Stories like this have been plentiful over the years. How is he so successful? He must have some serious leverage. And on it goes. Hundreds of comments, all lambasting him for being a see you next Tuesday. I've always maintained this. I've always explained that he is a complete canut, an asshole, an arsehole. And despite there being a fairly prevalent amount of material referencing this, it really has come to the fore now. It looks like that those that have previously protected him are no longer interested in doing so. He's clearly got up the nose of someone important, and now it's open season on James Corden, arsehole. I can truly say it is a joyous day indeed. This narcissist is being exposed for his rudimentary rudeness, arrogance, and complete absence of talent. The way that he turns on when the cameras come on is indicative of the fact that he's only interested in one person, himself. He asserts control over people by being rude to them, doesn't give a flying fuck about what they think, is dismissive, and thinks he's superior to everybody, cocooned in an utterly delusional bubble. Undoubtedly, there'll be more of this to come, and it won't surprise you to know that I'll be ready there to talk about it. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.